Steve and Jill here.
Good day.
Welcome to the House Academy Show, entertaining real estate investment talk. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about why the heck are house prices not tumbling since this COVID thing started.
Yeah. Come on. I was waiting for this. I got money in the bank. I'm ready for it. I mean, I know other investors are standing around. What is the deal, Steven?
The federal government, well, you know what? It's coming.
Okay.
And it's going to be a waterfall, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
Before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
Yeah, and for the record, we both wrote down, this is one of those times that we like, it's like we both do, we write down our notes and we don't share them. We cover them, but let's see your answer and see my answer. So it'll be fun to see how close we are.
The stock market tumbled. It crashed. Hundreds of billions of dollars of wealth was created because of that. What about housing?
Exactly.
Nothing happened.
Not yet.
It's coming.
Okay. Palani wrote, my partner and I have been in the business for some time now. Currently, we split everything down the middle, including the cost and the profits. When it comes to mailing the counties, we also split the list down the middle so that if we do happen to branch off and go solo, it's totally equal. One of the things I can't figure out is his mailers get a much higher response rate than mine, not only rejected and accepted offers, but from phone and mailed back contracts. Our mailer letters are practically identical with the exception of our own info: name, phone, address, business name. Has anyone ever seen this before, or does anyone have any insights as to what could be the issues? Any suggestions? It's seriously driving me nuts. By the way, I've done some split testing on my own letters, but not enough data has come back yet. Thanks in advance.
First of all, this is like PhD level stuff.
Yeah.
Well, maybe master's degree. Split testing is maybe the greatest thing ever.
Right.
Split testing is how you learn and hone in on what works, what doesn't work, what works slightly, ever so slightly better versus not, and then go do that more, and and on and on and on until you've really perfected what you're doing. So kudos. I think it's great. We split test stuff all the time. We split test. In social media 101 and advertising online and all that is rooted in split testing. You take this audience, you take this audience, audience X, audience Y, send them the identical message, statistically reach them identically, and see who responds better, and then focus on that audience that responds better. So what's the problem here? There isn't one. You're way ahead of everybody else who doesn't split test their mailers. Why don't people split test then, Steve? Why? Here's why. And everybody's this is what makes.
This is another one of those days that I'm like, why am I even here? By the way, am I just eye candy?
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. I'm like, I'm here. I'm the Vanna White again. I will pose the question, and then I'll go quietly stand.
Well,
I'll
go
just
ahead.
quietly pose over here. That's what I'm going to do.
I kinda like
you
that,
keep
Jill.
talking, and I'm just going to pose.
If you're listening to this, not watching it, you're missing out.
And I'll change the poses.
Go ahead, jump in.
No,
here.
it's okay. I'm posing. Go ahead.
Split testing is a great thing to do. And so, but I will tell you this, it's always pricing. So what's not identical, I can almost guarantee what's not identical is the areas in which you guys are both sending mail. So if you've got, I'm going to just use a full-blown weirdo example. If you've got two statistically alike counties in the state of Virginia, I'm just pulling that out of a hat. Same number of people, same pricing, same everything. Is statistically similar as they look, they are not. And there's some variable in there that you have overlooked. It could be a plant just closed. It could be, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on, but that's what split testing is designed to smoke out without having you parachute in there and talk to people and figure it out. So why fight it? Maybe in this partnership that you guys have, you have him do the mail and you do some other stuff. I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I'm just curious though too. Like, he said it's practical exception of our own info. So wait, scroll up. I don't want to pick on Palani, but I don't know. Is there even something interesting there? Because we have found that using local information makes a difference.
Local phone numbers, she means.
You know, so it could be something that he's doing. Because you said name, phone, address, business name. Not picking on you, Palani, but it could be something as you're mailing a rural, older town community, and they see a name like Palani, and it's really long, they can't pronounce it. Let's just say, I don't know, but it could be something just simple like that.
Well, along those lines.
And I don't want you to change who you are, but I don't know. It's just an idea. And his name is Bob Smith, and they know 18 Bob Smiths. Maybe they just I don't know, in a little town in, rural Georgia, and, they see that name. Maybe it's a name like Opie or something. Not kidding. I'm dealing with an attorney whose first name is Opie. And I'm like, I haven't heard that name in a while. And I didn't know that name was, still around. And maybe we'll have a loving response to the name Opie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We just recently started doing mail with local phone numbers. So we're sending mail out to, let's say, Ohio with an Ohio phone number. Mm-hmm. That forwards to all of our old phone numbers. And we buy the phone number, so we own it forever. We have also realized, too, through split testing, that Jill, because she's a female, gets a much better response than a male does in a like-kind split test. So we do split tests, too, but we don't fight. We don't argue about it. I don't care what the reason is. If she gets a better response, great. Mm-hmm. There's just some.
I would. Yeah.
You can't argue with
Keep doing it and figure it. And there's obviously a little something.
We live in this world right now where people demand. I'm gonna vent a little.
Uh-oh.
We live in a world right now where people demand to be accepted for who they are. So think about that for a second. If I just came on this show and the other shows that we have, or the webinars that we do, and every time I'm in front of a camera, I'm exactly the same person I am. The first half hour that I wake up in the morning, that Jill sees, the person that Jill knows is not this person right now.
Nope. Far from it.
So this, it just wouldn't work. People don't want that. No, I'd say, look, people don't want that.
Yeah.
When you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. So you have to play to your audience and give them what they want within reason. So there's a cultural thing that's going on right now about being accepted for exactly who you are. And if you talk to anybody, any actor, anybody like Oprah Winfrey, I'm telling you, the person that you see on a screen, that's not that person. So just think about that. What is that?
Posing.
Look, man, we're here to make money. We're here to get a great mailer response, flip some property, talk on the phone to people, and tell them what they want to hear within reason. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that by jamming your agenda, whatever it is, down someone's throat.
Right.
Split testing's great. Today's topic: why are house prices not tumbling due to the COVID? This is the meat of the show.
I bet there are two reasons that are very similar. I have two.
You go first.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just spewed my stuff all over the microphone.
Why don't you pose for a few minutes?
I will not Vanna White this. I bet most people don't even know who that is.
That's good. All right. So here's what I think. I quickly jotted down two. I'm sure there are several more, but I have two. One is, I think there are plenty of federal programs that are delaying the inevitable.
What kind of programs, Jill?
Programs like you don't have to pay your rent right now, and you don't have to do this right now.
Oh, you mean the government is interrupting pure supply and demand?
Pretty much. You won't get a credit ding, and this won't affect this situation, and we're not going to foreclose on you for X amount of days. So I'm just talking big picture. We don't need to get into details. You know what I'm saying?
We do have the same stuff.
Okay.
She means forbearance program, and the termination or the disallowance by the federal government for banks, mortgage companies to foreclose because of this COVID, this hardship thing. Mm-hmm. Unprecedented in the history of this country. Has anyone said to a bank, any government entity has said to a bank, hey, we know that your customers are not paying, and we're not asking you.
Yeah,
We're telling
amazing.
you
You can't call that
foreclose on
line.
this.
Like, wow.
What they're doing is building a house of cards
Oh.
in a pretty dramatic way.
Now, my second reason is that some markets, again, based on history, there are some markets that just aren't hit as hard. And like I was on a webinar last week about this, and we talked about, the places that are not, the companies and the environments that are doing okay and some very well, like industrial and tech. So when you have some of those areas around there, those people are, they're not losing their jobs.
Right.
They're not closing up shops. They're not retail. They're not a mall. They're not like, I hate to think what's going to happen with Mall Americas and all that real estate around there. It's going to be really,
right.
Whew, I feel bad.
Joe, we had the exact same 2 points. And I can't recall when we both had the exact same 2 points, we don't ever share this stuff before the show, just to see where we're coming from. So here's some stats. Approximately 30% of the people, so this is June 18 now. In the early days of June 2020, approximately 30% of the people who had mortgages either didn't pay or partially paid. So that's a mudslide, landslide, horrific statistic. Usually it's like 6%, 2 to 6%. And then the banks in normal times are allowed to do something about that 2 to 6%, where there's negative repercussions for your actions, whether it's credit score or
Losing your house.
So to throw on top of that, this new concept called forbearance, where if you do pick up the phone and tell your bank, I'm not going to pay, they say, okay, great. We're not happy about it. You're not happy about it. The rule says you have 30 to 90 days to not pay. We're going to tack it on the back of your loan for you. And that's fine. Oh, by the way, we're going to charge you interest all the way between now and the next 30 years on that new principle. So it's we're staving off the wolves here. The wolves are at the door. So what's going to happen? That's why it's not tumbling. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the stats, these last 2 or 3 months have been the single lowest months in foreclosure rates ever, because they're not allowed to foreclose. Banks are not allowed. So let's just say, for academic exercise, you stop paying in March. Then you have 90 days of forbearance and 90 days till foreclose. If the bank, they're going to allow the banks. So you have 6 months to a year before the real waterfall of foreclosures and the decay of house pricing goes down pretty dramatically. Then to throw on top of that, we have the lowest mortgage rates ever right now. So, and the highest demand because of population growth ever. So there's this propped up concept of affordable housing that term has been pushed down our throats for a year.
Right.
And I don't believe most of it's true. I believe that there is affordable housing. It's just not where people want to live. Really. Yeah. Think about that. There's a ton of affordable housing.
Yeah, there is.
You can buy a nice house for $20,000 in Southern Illinois. You just don't want to live there.
Right.
You want to live by the beach or whatever.
Right.
So,
or where your family is, or where your doctor is, or your dry cleaning is, whatever it is.
You can't stop foreclosure and allow people to not pay for months and months and months without some huge negative repercussion. This is an election year. And I think after this election is over, however it goes, I don't care actually how it goes. The next person that's going to deal with it is going to pull out those stops.
Yeah. So it's coming. I guess that's a big thing. So what are we doing about it?
What are you asking me?
Yes.
I'm sitting here with a little smirk on my face saying, I know this is going to come. I'm talking to investors. I'm honing up how I look at data to find out where these places are, because Jill's absolutely right. The neighborhood that we live in isn't going to be affected by this, not maybe 2% or something like that from a price erosion. But there's neighborhoods in every single MSA that are going to be dramatically affected based on demographic. And and one of the other things that's different about this recession, more than any of the ones that I've ever seen or been involved in, is that the people who are infected, the people, that's Freudian. The people who are affected economically,
Wow.
the people who are affected economically are in 1-to-1 ratio with business closings. What businesses are still closed? Right. Restaurants.
Yeah. Retail,
hair salons, retail.
nail. We don't have
stuff.
nails here. There's a lot of personal things you can't.
Those
get done
people
here.
typically
It's
don't live in homes.
They have apartments. They rent.
Yes. So there's that component that we don't know exactly how that's going to play out yet.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Happy you could join us today. The House Academy, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're over on the Land Academy Show. Get to know your script. And here on the House Academy Show, we are here Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called Life Restarts When You Leave. What the heck is he talking about now? You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
That sounds like a divorce situation.
It is.
Oh, let's not talk about it now. I'm going to write down my own notes for tomorrow when we sit and talk about this.
Here for you and all the listeners.
This sounds pretty drastic.
Think about.
This is scary.
I just want you to think about this,
right.
and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Think about every time you've either been forced to leave something or left on your own because you just didn't want to be there anymore. Whether it's a social relationship, high school, college, maybe a job situation. You either leave on because you want to, or you're asked to leave. And then think about the next year of your life. Did your life get better?
It's kind of funny. I like to think about that. I'm going to spend some time on that.
Did your life get better after that?
Why were you asked to leave? Let's analyze that.
Jill has a little anecdotal thing that she talks about leasing out library books in the back of the class, and then how she was asked to not do that anymore.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It's a good story.
Okay.
We can start with that tomorrow.
Okay, good. That's funny.
I think you were asked to leave because of that.
Oh, it was hilarious. I got in trouble. The House Academy Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. So wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We're
Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.